Hello. This is my rehearsal audience for my research informative speech today. The topic I'm going to talk about today coincides seriously with me, and hopefully with many other people as well. I'll be talking about the skin affliction known as psoriasis. Now, when I talk about psoriasis, I mean more of a non-threatening yet can be condition. Personally, I have psoriasis. But before we get into that, let's talk about the multiple different psoriasis there are, mainly three. Here's the commonality of these three different psoriasis within psoriasis patients. First, we have plaque psoriasis. When we talk about psoriasis, this is the most common type. In fact, 80 to 90% of patients with psoriasis have plaque psoriasis. While it's not a life-threatening disease, in some cases it can be. 80-90%, that's a huge number. The next thing we have is psychiatric arthritis. When we talk about that, that's not a simple disease. In fact, it usually developed from plaque psoriasis or cutaneous psoriasis, but mostly plaque psoriasis. That means that 30 to 33% of people with psoriasis pre-existing go on and develop that. That's a pretty scary number. That's 1/3. The next thing is cutaneous psoriasis. Well, this is more common in children. We'll get into what actually happens in cutaneous psoriasis, but it only affects 8% of the population. And usually cutaneous psoriasis is a one-time thing. And all of this whole demographic is from healthline.com. To begin, let's talk about the symptoms. The symptoms of psoriasis usually start with red or itchy patches on the skin. Not to be confused with eczema, though, which is a very similar sign. According to Penn State University College of Medicine, eczema occurs on certain places, usually, that don't occur in psoriasis. When we talk about eczema, most eczema is seen on the back of the knees, the elbows, but in psoriasis, it can be seen on the face, the buttocks, the scalp, and the elbows, but not the back of the elbows often. Another huge thing about the symptoms to tell it's psoriasis is the symmetrical patterns that it abduce. Symmetrical patterns, I mean more of a line drawn down the patches and you can fold it over. Mainly on the torso for psoriasis. Eczema, symmetrical patterns are rare but still occur. Now, we're talking about psoriasis, which causes more itchy foundation within the skin patch. But people with eczema don't really know how that feels, and people with psoriasis don't really know how that feels if they haven't had eczema before. Itchy means bad. And when I'm talking about itchy, according to Dr. Milstein from Penn Medicine, itching can lead to bleeding in psoriasis and even more spread. In fact, even more swelling. Dermatologists are the ones to decide, however. You take your skin patch, or white, red, it might even be a rash to a dermatologist. They'll tell you whether it is psoriasis, eczema, or just some skin abnormality. Before we go on, I think we should talk about the causes, and maybe even the triggers, even though the symptoms are very defining. Let's talk about the very first cause, the main cause why plaque psoriasis occurs, and that's the immune system. When the immune system is wrongly triggered, T cells are produced, and they're wrongly informed and attack skin cells instead. And since every one of these have a nervous system and nervous neurons, they have their own mind and own thinking. So the cells attack skin cells, and the skin cells reproduce rapidly. And the skin cells reproduce faster than what it can take. So the body accumulates extra skin cells 3 to 4 times even, and they start to pile up. As the skin cells start to pile up, we're talking about multiple piles of dead and damaged skin on your body. However, it might not be harmful at first. It can get harmful and itchy and scratchy, and you guys already know. According to AED, which is the American Association of Dermatology, children with cutaneous psoriasis only occur once. And that means that the psoriasis usually vanishes and never comes back. And that's what I meant with the cutaneous psoriasis. That's why only 8% of people with psoriasis are affected with it, because it's such a rare type. And usually it's only derived from children. Another huge cause of psoriasis is genetics. The American Academy of Dermatology says that if your family members, mainly primary, such as parents, grandparents, cousins, aunts, maybe not distant, if they have psoriasis, the risk of you having it are way increased. So AED also found out that genetics is not the true way. Scientists have researched psoriasis for a long time, trying to find a cure, but yet have come to no cost. So this means that with that, They are not able to decide whether the gene is recessive or dominant until recently, where they decided it was recessive. But there are many triggers that cause it, and that's what they feel is a big problem. So now let's talk about the triggers. The triggers include a lot of things, a lot of basic things that you can expect. Stress is a huge one, as many medical conditions. Blood level rises, the immune system increases. And smoking is another huge thing. Lung capacity, lung cells being damaged, the immune system releasing more cells, T cells, to try to fight that. Alcohol is the same thing. And many other things, such as medication infections, also end up triggering psoriasis in your body. But with many different causes, treatments vary heavily. And now we'll talk about them with no cure. The first thing I want to talk about is my personal own treatment. I went through something called Ayurvedic medicine, which means I denied the dermatologist opting for steroids, and I went through something less conventional. I went through a process called Ayurvedic medication, which consisted of me eating tablets a day, which are mainly supplements, taking oil baths, and eating a syrup-like substance that really helped me. And I ate it along with food even, not just drank it alone. Even though it was bitter, I had a good cause. Another huge thing is topical cream. While this is not steroids, but can be, it's not injected in your body like some dermatologists suggest. Topical cream mainly ails the itching and can hide it, but it's not going to really take care of it in the end because you're going to have to keep reapplying it. Another huge thing is phototherapy. This is a new science developed for psoriasis. A quote from the National Psoriasis Foundation. The excimer laser can target areas of the skin often affected by mild to moderate psoriasis. Now, when I talk about the excimer laser, we're talking about something completely different. And let's talk about the commonalities. This is the commonalities of people with psoriasis in the world. 7.4 million people in the United States just by that, and 125 million worldwide. Now, if the phototherapy did exist, then the gene cause would be horrible. And that is why phototherapy is still a discovering science. To finish off, psoriasis is still a mystery in development. Many people don't know, and it's been around for ages. So now we're trying to figure it out. But psoriasis has a commonality that cannot be ignored. Thank you.